of the most confusing times in my life. I was 16 years old when my mother passed away. Before that day, my life had felt normal and safe. My mother was warm and patient, and our house was always full of laughter. Even when my father came home tired from work, my mother knew how to make him smile again. But after she died, everything changed. Our house became quiet in a way that felt heavy. The kitchen, once filled with the smell of fresh food and soft music, now felt cold and empty. My father stopped talking as much as he used to. He spent most evenings sitting alone in the living room, staring at old photographs. For almost a year, it was just the two of us. During that time, I tried my best to be strong. I helped with cooking, cleaning, and other small things around the house. I knew my father was hurting, and I didn't want to make life harder for him. Still, there were nights when I lay in my bed and missed my mother so much that I could not sleep. One evening, my father called me into the living room. His voice sounded serious, and that made me nervous. "Daniel," he said slowly, "there is something important I need to tell you." I sat down across from him, wondering what kind of news could make his face look so tense. "I have met someone," he continued. For a moment, I did not understand what he meant. Then the meaning slowly became clear. "You mean a woman?" I asked. He nodded. Her name was Laura. My father explained that they had met at a small bookstore in town. Laura worked there as a manager, and they had started talking whenever he visited. Over time, their conversations became longer. Eventually, they began having dinner together. "I didn't plan for this to happen," my father said quietly, "but she has helped me feel alive again." I didn't know what to say. Part of me understood that my father deserved happiness, but another part of me felt uncomfortable. The idea of someone else entering our family felt strange and almost wrong. A few weeks later, I met Laura for the first time. She came to our house on a Sunday afternoon. I remember standing near the front door when my father introduced us. "Daniel, this is Laura." She smiled warmly and extended her hand. "It's nice to finally meet you." Laura looked elegant but simple. She had dark brown hair tied neatly behind her head and calm gray eyes. Her voice was gentle, and her smile seemed sincere. Still, I felt nervous. I shook her hand politely, but did not say much. During lunch, Laura tried to start conversations with me. She asked about school, my hobbies, and the books I like to read. I answered with short sentences. I was not trying to be rude. I just didn't know how to act around her. My father, however, looked happier than I had seen him in a long time. He laughed more during that lunch than he had in months. Over the next few months, Laura visited our house often. Slowly, she became part of our routine. She sometimes helped cook dinner or brought homemade desserts. My father clearly enjoyed her company. Then one evening, my father shared another important announcement. "Laura and I are getting married." The words hung in the air like a sudden storm. I forced a small smile because I did not want to hurt him. But deep inside, I felt a mixture of emotions, confusion, worry, and a quiet fear that our family would never feel the same again. The wedding was small and simple. Only a few relatives and close friends attended. After that day, Laura officially became my stepmother. At first, living with her felt strange. She tried very hard to be kind. Every morning she greeted me with a cheerful, "Good morning." She prepared breakfast before I left for school and often asked about my day when I returned home. But I kept my distance. Something inside me refused to fully accept her. I told myself that she could never replace my real mother. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. Life slowly settled into a new routine. My father seemed happier, and our house no longer felt as silent as before. Yet something about Laura puzzled me. Sometimes I noticed small, unusual things. For example, she occasionally received phone calls late at night. When the phone rang, she would quietly step outside to answer it. When she returned, her expression looked serious, almost worried. Another time, I saw her reading a thick envelope of documents at the kitchen table. When she noticed me entering the room, she quickly placed the papers into a drawer. At first, I thought